And naturally, I'm a Tottenham man, obviously. I can reflect back to being a player with and manager of some of the finest players that have ever been in the game.
The place is fantastic, the tradition of this club.
To be the manager of 3 cup-winning teams here, I'm so lucky, it's untrue.
Hotspur America podcast, airing every week during the English Premier League season.
What a glory, glory night at White Hart Lane. This great and historic football club. Joyful night down the Tottenham High Road.
Hotspur America, the original US-based podcast dedicated solely to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
Gascoigne gonna have a crack? He is, you know. Oh, I say! Schoolboy's own stuff.
I hate Arsenal, just hate them.
Oh, what a goal! Unbelievable! Wow, this is incredible.
We're the Yids in America.
This is there to tap in. What a fantastic run! He scored! And it's turned home, Eric Dyer.
This is your Hotspur America. Season 4, episode 27 of the Hotspur America podcast. Sam joining me today. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm all right.
Good. Timmy, about to have a baby, man. Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm nervous.
You nervous? You're going to be a lot more nervous when you wake up tomorrow.
Just a bit, yeah.
It's life-changing, man. This is number one. Happy events. Really looking forward to that. And
I just told Sam if I have any questions, I'll just hit him up because he's got a litter.
Yeah, I got 5 of them. 5 is the same amount of points that we are now behind 4th place. What makes you more nervous, being a father or being 5 points back of a Champions League spot? How about that for a transition?
Obviously, being a father because I've sat through those years. I've sat through those years where we missed out top 4, so that's not a new thing.
Yeah. Simon also joining us from Orlando, traveling. How are you, man?
Here? I didn't know you were here, mate.
Yeah, he's trying not to use up all the the hotel Wi-Fi. It's going to be the dodgy pitch from South Orlando, I think, or the dodgy stream, whatever we call it. You doing okay, though, bud?
I'm good.
Oh my God!
Crap match.
Let's get into the crap match straight away. But first, let's give a quick shout out to the Community Beer Company, our sponsor, as always, the perfect pub pint to share with your mates. You can find the Hotspur America podcast on multiple social media platforms. At Instagram, we're the Hotspur America Pod, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Spreaker, and of course, iTunes. Southampton won. Tottenham Hotspur won. Oh, goodness. Davison Sanchez. What? Yeah.
Called it.
You called it. He did last week. You got the prediction right.
I didn't mean it. I really didn't. I just said it just to be cute. And look at me
So
now.
we all blame Sam. So you all know how to find him on Twitter. Blame him for that shit.
Everyone knows how to find him on Twitter. He doesn't shut up.
Not today, at least.
Just during the transfer window, he's always on. You can find him during windows.
So okay, let's get into this thing because the lineup straight away. No Eriksson, no Lloris. We wake up to that this morning, and it's like, oh, okay. If it's going to happen during a match, Southampton, who's mightily struggling, be a good match for them not to have to play. Sissoko gets the start over Lamela, and then as the course of the game goes, and not to get too far ahead of ourselves, we start making substitutions. We're chasing the game at the end. We have every opportunity and should have every opportunity to if one of the teams is going to win this. And oh, by the way, they had their opportunities too. Felt sorry for that kid they brought on. But no Llorente. So Anders is asking, why did we even buy the guy? So Sam, I'm going to start with you. Your thoughts on the match, start to finish, and everything that transpired in between.
Well, I'll make a little bit of an excuse. Tough conditions, but both teams had to play in it. But it was our play was like the conditions on the pitch, and it was just sloppy. Some undisciplined play from Aurier, some uncharacteristic sloppiness from Davison Sanchez. But I think the biggest thing was just sort of lack of leadership, lack of that kind of talisman, somebody that could, Kane aside, somebody particularly in the middle of the field that could marshal the ball around, be creative, put players in keen spots. We really lacked that. And then, whereas Dembele was physical at times in the midfield, he was just really, really careless with the ball. So all in all, just a really sloppy display. And then we looked desperate at the end, which is kind of how I'd characterize this team now fighting for a Champions League spot.
And I will say that, we kind of hound on Sissoko a little bit. I won't say that he played horribly. He didn't play any worse than anybody else played in terms of not having the match that we would hope that they would. But Tim, him over Lamela, was that when you don't have that lock picker in Eriksen, isn't that the natural substitution there? I was trying to really figure that one out.
I mean, yeah, it was a head scratcher. I didn't know what to think of it when I saw it, and I wasn't happy about it. I mean, we've talked about before, obviously, if you're going to pick out one person who is the absolute weakest link at this football club, I think it is Sissoko. That's what we've been talking about bringing someone in the transfer window, not necessarily for the starting 11, but to replace that depth. And I think this game just showed how weak we are actually in our depth, because every time we're talking about transfers, you see it on Twitter, who would they replace in the starting 11? That's what someone always says. That's not the point. It's the depth, and we saw it today when Eriksen went out. The person who came in for him wasn't able to make an impact on the game at all.
No, I totally agree with you. And Chairs, I think one of another head scratcher. And listen, we're not Pochettino. He knows what he's doing, and we're going to sit here and play Monday morning quarterback, so to speak, and second guess what he's doing. But when you make that substitution for Lamela finally and bring him on, you pull Son off the pitch. Someone who's arguably been our best player the last month, and you leave Sissoko on. It's not that we didn't have chances, but your take on this match is I already kind of feel what you're going to say, so I'm just going to let you say it. Go ahead and do it.
That's kind of you. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I saw as a common thread throughout, Sam touched on some poor individual play, but the passing, particularly in the second half, I really thought we'd come out after Pochettino would have had a word based on how the first half went, where that would not be still going on, but it seemed to just get progressively worse in the second half. Now, granted, I didn't catch the last 15 minutes or so as I had to leave the airport, but up to that point, we were not creating any chances. The only offensive threat of any note I saw was Dele's curled away from the post. I think I heard that Kane had an effort at the end that, by all accounts, he should have buried, but from what I saw, it just didn't seem to get better second half. Multiple players just seemed to want to give the ball back to someone in red and white versus their own teammates, and we just didn't seem to progress up the field. And you're right, I was scratching my head. One, why no Sissoko was starting over Lamela, and two, why Son had to come off for Lamela when it should have really been Sissoko, so that if we're going for it, we had all our offensive weapons out there. Now, Son didn't have a game anywhere near his normal standard, and Ali just seemed to keep running into players when he could have probably laid the ball off a little sooner. So, a bit frustrating to see performance like that. I read on Twitter before we went on air that someone made a comment that it's flu season, and this bug went through a lot of the players apparently, and may have affected some that were still out there. We don't know that for sure.
Well, actually, we do. Poch did say there were players out there who were affected by it. They tried to press him on who actually it was, and he wouldn't say which players it were.
I think he did say it may have been Sonny, right?
I don't know. He did say there were players out there today who were affected by it. Now, we don't know who exactly it was.
Right. So clearly, that's a reason for the poor performance if you're not 100%. But, again, the question was asked, well, if there's a chance that they went out to Barcelona affected by the flu, and then you've got everyone living together, it's the perfect conditions for getting everyone a dose of the flu if they haven't had a flu shot. And we all know what's going on with flu right now, none more than me. But it's just one of those games that it frustrates you, because we got back into it very quickly after going down a goal. It was unfortunate. I think Sanchez really could have done much about that, and it's just disappointing all round. And as Sam says, we're now 5 points back from fourth place.
Yeah, I mean, assuming Liverpool does the job tomorrow at Swansea, which I'm sure they will.
They will, and then we've got these tough games coming up, which it would have been nice to have been a lot closer to fourth than we are. knowing that we've got to play United and Liverpool next in the league.
Just think it's a bit naive, though, right? I mean, today kind of shows how naive it is for us to think that we don't need to add players, and hey, it's no big deal if we enter the second half of the season with who we have. Now, I mean, I think that the situation is even more precarious for us because we're climbing uphill, right? And we're climbing uphill with what we have. And we were absolutely exposed today that we just simply don't have depth necessary to bring somebody on that can make a difference. And yeah, I mean, it's strange because the thing that I saw today a lot. And again, conditions aside, I mean, it was dreadful out there. But you saw Dele and you saw Sonny. You saw them being, in many respects, very selfish at times, feeling like they needed to do too much. Where it was like we lost our team ethos today. We lost our ability to play. Like, I've never seen us give the ball away as many times as we did today. And our build-up just didn't, like, I mean, you guys remember any time this year where we really struggled to, like, ping the ball around the pitch?
Even
November,
maybe Swansea, but I mean, again,
it's
similar conditions, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
I don't know. I think one of the things that really speaks to me in terms of this match, though, Sam, is Southampton, albeit at home, did not sit back. They came out and attacked us, and you would think perfect opportunity for us to counterattack all day long, string some passes together, make a couple of really nice, nice attacking moves in the final third, and nothing came off. And anything that did had zero in the finishing department.
Had these kind of weird situations where I thought actually, like, I was okay with Dembele's aggression, but my God, he just could not do anything with the ball. I mean, there were a number of times where I saw him basically run almost from box to box and just did nothing other than consistently give the ball away, or just get confused and then make a back pass. So I got to hand it to you. I thought when Lamela came on, and I know he didn't do much, but I mean, I'm a big fan of that first key pass that gets the ball moving forward, and he was involved with it. I just really wish that he would have had 90 minutes or at least a full first half to show his wares.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why he didn't get the start when Eriksen missed, because that's your natural substitution right there. If one of those is going to miss, you want the other one playing. That's your lock picker. Those are the people that can make the key pass, have incredible touch on the ball, have really good vision, and make play flow, which is what we certainly lacked, and it seemed all day today. Interesting tidbit. When I looked at I paid a lot of attention today to the fullbacks. I thought Davis played a really great game. I thought he played really well today. And conversely, Aurier again looked a little erratic. Then picks up a knock, which is troubling given the fixture congestion, or at least the fixture importance of February and what's coming up. So we hope that that's not going to be too bad. But then Trippier comes on and doesn't look all that much better.
Yeah, Buffon kind of torched him.
Yeah. So, Timmy, is that a concern for you where we're sitting right now with right back or right wing back or however you want to look at that position?
Yeah. I mean, easiest way to put it is yes, we have not recovered since losing Kyle Walker. And people are saying, what's the difference between this season and last season? I think that's the biggest difference right there is we don't have that attacking presence on that side who at the same time can recover defensively when being all the way down at the touchline on their side of the pitch.
Yeah, it almost makes you think that we're going to, I hate to say, revert back to like a 4-2-3-1 and kind of throw that whole 3-5-1 thing that we're doing or whatever it is out the window and say, look, it's just not going to work with who we have to work with, or at least it's not going to work as effectively as it did last year. And if it doesn't work as effectively as it did last year, we're going to struggle for top four, because it was arguably the system combined with how the players work within that system that allowed us to finish where we had in the last couple of years. And now here we are. And it even got mentioned this morning on the pregame show with Rebecca Lowe and the guys on NBC that with this being the only match today, there was a lot of highlight, especially on Tottenham, and how important and how imperative they said it was that top four be attained when we're going to open up this new stadium next year Chairs, we've kind of talked about that a little bit. Is it important? Is it not important to